Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and this is my Snohomish County real estate market update for November 2021. As we jump into this video, we're gonna talk about the stats from October 2021. We're gonna talk about and highlight a few of the communities in Snohomish County, specifically Edmonds, Mountain Lake, Terrace, and Linwood. We'll call it South Snohomish County. And I'll add some context in my thoughts as we progress through the video. Let's do this video in reverse order, and we're gonna talk about the highlights first, and then we're gonna go back to the county so we can see how they compare. As we look at Edmonds, which is my hometown, place of birth, current residence. I love Edmonds. I'm a little bit biased towards Edmonds if I was ever to get caught and have to confess. I love it because we're seeing a lot of growth. 22.8% year over year in Edmonds. Median sales price is now over $900,000, $903,750 in the city of Edmonds. In Mountain Lake Terrace, another place in South Snohomish County, so across I-5, we've seen 33.6% growth year over year, $744,975. And in Linwood, a little bit farther north, so Mountain Lake Terrace and Edmonds are kind of right up against the King County, Snohomish County border, which also is partly why I think they're growing at such a fast rate, because they're closer in to Seattle and Bellevue in Snohomish County. We also have very large growth in Linwood, but again, not quite as much, 16.3% up year over year. Median home price in Linwood is approaching $700,000 at $697,500. And as we're looking at percentage of list price, Linwood's actually leading the charge here at 6.2% above asking price on average. And Edmonds, slightly lower, 4.5% on average above asking price. And Mountain Lake Terrace, interestingly, even though it's grown a lot, and we've seen a lot of growth in price, the percentage on average over asking price, 1.1%. So King County and Snohomish County as a whole have both been slowing down a little bit. And I think people have noticed that. Countywide, we're seeing less competition, but we're still seeing competition. But it's not on every single house. It's not as crazy. But there are pockets, okay? There are pockets that are super, super competitive still. And I'm not in this video highlighting those particular pockets, but I've been experiencing recently Mill Creek and Bothell specifically to be super, super competitive, talking 15-20% over asking price on a lot of houses. So as we're digesting this information, there are certain areas that are a little bit more competitive, but as a whole, King County is appreciating very, very high, and so is Snohomish County. But the pockets in Snohomish County, if I was to pick a couple that are the most hot right now experientially, I think it's going to be more like the Bothell, Mill Creek area. Now let's zoom out from our focus on South Snohomish County and look at Snohomish County from a big picture standpoint. And as we're looking at it, I think we're seeing a couple trends. Number one, we're seeing that listings are starting to slow up. And that's a trend across the Seattle, Bellevue metro area. We're seeing fewer and fewer listings coming on the market. Last year, we had a little bit of an opposite effect. We had fewer listings in the spring and more listings coming on in the summertime and in the fall time than we normally do. And this year, we're seeing a little bit more of the normal trend of when people put their houses on the market, which means we're seeing about 16.4% fewer homes coming on the market last month than we did back in 2020. And pending sales are actually up a little bit, 4.2%. And we're experiencing closed sales down a little bit. I'm not really worried about that number, as the closed sales and pending sales are significantly more than the new listings. So we're still seeing supply numbers drop, and we're down to 0.4 months of supply all across Snohomish County. And last year, we were at 0.7 months of supply, both super, super low. But 0.4 months of supply is super, super low, which means if no houses come on the market in the next week and a half or so, we're gonna have no houses left to sell. So for perspective, super low. The other stat I think that all of you probably wanna know is, what are the prices like in Snohomish County? And I'll tell you this, home prices in Snohomish County have appreciated much more consistently across Snohomish County, which means that the median sales price is up 19.8%, and the average is up 21.4%. So those numbers are a lot closer together, which again says that we're seeing a lot more consistent growth versus super hyper-focused growth. And as we look at the median sales price, $683, and then we look at the average sales price, $751, we're still seeing quite a bit of a difference there, but as I mentioned, that average appreciation year over year and growth year over year is very, very consistent across the county. As we approach the end of 2021 and start to look towards 2022, I'm starting to have a lot of conversations, people asking me about timing of selling and buying and what the market's going to look like and where we're headed and what the future holds. And I have to always use the same joke, and that joke is I don't have a crystal ball, okay? I really don't, and nobody does. If anybody is a little too confident in their predictions, I think they're misguided. But as I see the market and experience it in the moment, I think we're definitely looking towards a strong finish to 2021 and prices continuing to climb, buyers and competition remaining strong. And I think as we look towards 2022, I think we're gonna see a very similar trend here as we continue into 2022, mainly because we still have super low interest rates. We still have a lot of demand and we don't have enough houses to sell. I know it sounds simplistic to focus on a few metrics and say those are major driving forces, but I also think that we tend to overcomplicate things. We're seeing this in the car market right now. We're seeing chip shortages and we're seeing car prices skyrocketing, new cars, used cars are selling more than new cars. I mean, it's a crazy world in the car buying world, and I just experienced it myself. But as we're looking out into the world, that's a depreciating asset historically, right? And when people buying real estate, historically, we're seeing appreciation. So we're seeing some of those same factors influencing growth and competition and price gains in the different areas around Snohomish County. But it's something that you can be confident in the long run that you're going to see a return on that. Whereas buying a car right now, I'm really worried about people, and even myself, buying cars right now because I know in the future that it's going to see a pretty big hit. Don't know why I didn't think about sharing that in the other videos, but it just came out in this one, so Snohomish County gets a little bit of a bonus spot. Cool. Thanks so much for watching my Snohomish County real estate market update for November 2021. I know that if you watch this video all the way to the end, or that if you've been following along for a while, that you're getting value out of these videos. So my number one request is that you would subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. My second request is if you have been following along, please go ahead and give this video a like or maybe comment, say hi. And if you have any real estate needs, you're thinking about buying a house or selling a house in Snohomish County or King County for that matter, I'd love to be a resource for you.